Everyone thought the answer was obvious. A single dad, standing before a female billionaire, offered marriage in front of powerful guests, but instead of saying yes, he said no. The room went silent, not because of the rejection, but because no man had ever said no to her before. Then her daughter started crying. She didn't scream. She ran after him, grabbed his leg, and whispered something that froze everyone. "You look like my father." The billionaire turned pale, because the man she once loved disappeared years ago, and this rejection just opened a secret that was never meant to surface. Hit subscribe now and turn on notifications, so you never miss a story that could move you, inspire you, or even change your perspective. Trust me, the next story will leave you speechless. The hall was quiet as the billionaire stood before the guests. Her name carried weight in every city she entered. People feared her influence and admired her success. Invitations to her events were considered honors. Cameras waited for a fairytale moment. The single dad stood across from her calmly. His worn jacket contrasted her luxury gown. No one expected what would follow. She spoke confidently about companionship and partnership. Her words sounded generous and rehearsed. The guest smiled, already assuming his answer. Wealth had never failed her before. Even rejection was foreign to her world. The single dad listened respectfully, without interrupting. His mind was elsewhere, far from money. His silence made the room uneasy. When she finished, she extended her hand slightly. Her daughter watched closely from behind. The girl's eyes sparkled with hope and curiosity. She had imagined a new family forming. The single dad inhaled deeply before responding. His voice was calm but firm. He thanked her for the offer sincerely. Then he said no. Gasps echoed through the hall immediately. Whispers rippled from table to table. The billionaire's confident smile stiffened instantly. No man had ever refused her publicly. Pride flickered briefly across her face. She tried to laugh it off politely. The guests stared at the single dad in disbelief. Silence swallowed the room again. The billionaire asked him to explain himself gently. She expected hesitation or fear. Instead, he met her eyes steadily. He said marriage was not a transaction. He said love could not be bought. His words carried no insult. They carried conviction and pain. The room grew heavier with tension. Her daughter stepped forward slowly. She tugged at her mother's dress nervously. The girl had believed the man would stay. She had imagined calling him father someday. Confusion clouded her young face. Tears welled in her eyes suddenly. Her small hands trembled uncontrollably. Then she began to cry loudly. The child's cries cut through the crowd. Conversations stopped instantly. Even the security guards shifted uncomfortably. The billionaire's heart tightened at the sound. She knelt beside her daughter hurriedly. She whispered words of comfort softly. But the girl could not stop crying. Her sobs grew more desperate. The single dad froze where he stood. He had expected anger, not heartbreak. Seeing the child cry broke something inside him. Memories of his own children flooded back. He remembered promises he could not keep. Guilt pressed heavily on his chest. He took a step forward instinctively. The billionaire looked up sharply at him. She misunderstood his movement immediately. Her expression hardened defensively. She pulled her daughter closer protectively. The guests watched anxiously for conflict. The single dad stopped and raised his hands gently. He said he never meant to hurt anyone. His voice shook for the first time. He apologized to the child sincerely. Tears filled his own eyes. The billionaire stood slowly, masking her emotions. Pride battled empathy within her heart. She thanked him coldly for his honesty. Her voice echoed across the hall. She signaled for the event to end abruptly. Guests rose awkwardly from their seats. Murmurs filled the space again. The single dad turned toward the exit quietly. As he walked away, the girl broke free suddenly. She ran after him, crying uncontrollably. Gasps erupted from the guests once more. The billionaire called her daughter's name loudly. The child clutched the man's leg tightly. She begged him not to leave. Her words were broken and desperate, The room froze completely. The single dad knelt down slowly. He wiped the child's tears gently. He asked her why she was crying softly. She said she felt safe with him. She said he reminded her of someone she lost. Her words stunned everyone nearby. The billionaire's breath caught painfully. Old wounds reopened instantly. The billionaire stepped closer cautiously. She demanded to know what her daughter meant. The child pointed at the man quietly. She said he looked like her late father. Her voice trembled with emotion. The guests exchanged shocked glances. The single dad stiffened visibly. His past suddenly came rushing forward. Fear crossed his face. He stood up slowly, shaken. He denied knowing the child's father. His voice sounded unsure even to himself. The billionaire studied his face carefully. Something familiar stirred deep within her memory. Years ago, she had loved a man like this, a man who disappeared suddenly. A man who walked away from wealth. Her heart pounded violently. She asked the single dad his full name carefully. He hesitated before answering. When he spoke, her face drained of color. The name unlocked buried memories instantly. She staggered slightly, but held herself steady. The room buzzed with tension again. Her daughter clung tightly to her hand. The truth loomed dangerously close. The billionaire demanded a private conversation immediately. She dismissed everyone from the hall firmly. Security cleared the space within minutes. Only the three of them remained. The child sat quietly between them. The air felt heavy and fragile. The single dad looked conflicted and afraid. Secrets long buried threatened to surface. She asked him why he left years ago. Her voice trembled, despite her strength. He admitted he believed he was protecting her. He said wealth would destroy his values. He never knew about the pregnancy. His confession shocked her deeply. Tears streamed silently down her face. The child listened quietly, sensing truth. The billionaire struggled to stay composed. Years of anger clashed with sudden clarity. She realized fate had brought him back. The rejection was never about marriage. It was about unfinished wounds. The single dad apologized repeatedly with pain. He said he never stopped loving her. His eyes reflected deep regret. The child reached for both their hands. The girl smiled faintly through her tears. She felt warmth she never understood before. She asked if they were family. The question pierced both adults deeply. Neither answered immediately. Their silence spoke volumes. The billionaire swallowed hard and nodded slowly. The single dad nodded too, overwhelmed. Hope flickered cautiously between them. The night ended without cameras or applause. No announcement was made to the world, but something irreversible had begun. The rejection transformed into revelation. Hearts once broken stood exposed. The billionaire looked at the man differently now. The single dad felt fear and responsibility collide. The child held their hands tightly. Their story was far from over. Morning light streamed into the quiet mansion. The billionaire had not slept all night. Memories replayed endlessly in her mind. She watched her daughter sleeping peacefully. The child smiled softly even in dreams. Hope had replaced sorrow within her heart. Down the hall, the single dad sat silently. His future felt uncertain and fragile. The billionaire invited him to breakfast cautiously. They sat across from each other again. There was no audience this time. No wealth separated them now. Only unresolved truth stood between them. She asked about his life gently. He spoke of struggle and sacrifice. His honesty softened her defenses slowly. He told stories of raising children alone. He described nights of fear and prayer. Poverty taught him humility and strength. He never chased wealth or recognition. Love guided his decisions instead. The billionaire listened quietly with tears. She realized money had not brought peace. His life carried meaning hers lacked. Respect replaced resentment gradually. She apologized for hiding the pregnancy years ago. Fear and pride had controlled her then. She believed money could replace presence. She was wrong, painfully wrong. He admitted he should have searched harder. Regret filled every pause between words. The truth hurt, but healed simultaneously. The child watched from the doorway quietly, She sensed something sacred unfolding. The billionaire asked him to stay longer. Not as a husband, but as a father. The request humbled him deeply. He hesitated, fearing disruption. The child ran to him immediately. She hugged him tightly with joy. Her laughter filled the room brightly. His heart melted beyond resistance. He agreed softly, with conditions of honesty. Trust began rebuilding carefully. Days passed with cautious interaction. The child grew closer to him daily. She followed him everywhere happily. The billionaire observed them silently. Jealousy and gratitude wrestled inside her. She saw love money could never create. Her pride softened gradually each day. She began to laugh again genuinely. Healing took root quietly. Public rumors began circulating inevitably. The media sensed a hidden story. The billionaire refused interviews firmly. She chose privacy over publicity. The single dad avoided attention deliberately. His priority remained the child. They created routines together slowly. Simple moments brought real happiness. The mansion felt warmer than ever. Wealth finally felt irrelevant. One evening, the child asked a difficult question. She asked why he said no before. The single dad knelt beside her gently. He explained love must be free. He said marriage needs truth first. The child nodded with surprising wisdom. She said she trusted him completely. The billionaire overheard silently nearby. Her eyes filled with emotion again. That night, the billionaire approached him privately. She thanked him for protecting her daughter's heart. She admitted she admired his courage. She confessed she still loved him. Her voice trembled with vulnerability. The single dad listened carefully without rushing. He admitted feelings never disappeared, but fear still haunted him deeply. Silence stretched between them meaningfully. He said love deserved patience this time. Rushing would repeat old mistakes. The billionaire agreed reluctantly, but respectfully. She promised transparency and humility. Their agreement felt mature and real. The child sensed change immediately. She smiled knowingly at both adults. Hope returned stronger than before. Trust replaced desperation slowly. Weeks turned into months peacefully. The single dad became part of the household, not as a guest, but as family. The child thrived emotionally and academically. Laughter filled the mansion regularly. The billionaire learned simplicity from him. He learned confidence from her strength. Balance formed naturally between them. Love grew without force or pressure. Eventually, the billionaire invited him again. This time, there were no guests. No cameras waited for spectacle. She spoke without rehearsed words. She asked from humility, not power. She asked if he would choose her freely. The single dad smiled softly at last. He said yes with confidence. Tears flowed freely between them. The child clapped excitedly with joy. She hugged both of them tightly. Her laughter echoed throughout the room. The moment felt earned and sacred. No wealth defined the decision. Only truth and growth mattered now. The billionaire felt lighter than ever. The single dad felt peace finally settle. Their journey felt complete yet ongoing. News eventually reached the public carefully. The story shocked and inspired many. People saw humility in unexpected places. The billionaire's image transformed positively. The single dad became a symbol of dignity. The child became the heart of the story. Media praised love built on values. The couple avoided excess attention. Privacy remained their greatest treasure. The wedding was simple and quiet. Only close family attended. No grand stage or display existed. Vows were spoken with sincerity. Tears replaced applause naturally. The child stood proudly between them. She felt whole for the first time. The billionaire smiled without arrogance. The single dad smiled without fear. Love stood unburdened and real. Life continued with challenges and growth. Wealth remained, but control loosened. The single dad helped manage balance. The billionaire supported charitable causes quietly. Together they raised children with values. The mansion became a home. Arguments occurred, but communication prevailed. Respect anchored their relationship firmly. Healing continued every single day. The child often told friends her story. She said love saved her family. She believed rejection brought truth. Her innocence carried wisdom beyond years. Teachers noticed her confidence blossom. The parents watched proudly from afar. They knew pain shaped purpose. Mistakes led them back together. Gratitude replaced regret completely. Their past no longer haunted them. Years later, the story remained powerful, not because of wealth or fame, but because of choice and integrity. The single dad never regretted saying no. The billionaire never regretted waiting. The child never forgot that moment. It taught her self-worth deeply. Love rooted in truth always lasts. Their family became living proof. Their journey inspired many silently. When asked about the proposal years later, they smiled. They said rejection saved their future. They believed timing mattered deeply. The child laughed at the memory fondly. She understood destiny clearly now. Pain redirected their path wisely. The billionaire learned humility changed everything. The single dad learned courage invites miracles. Love rewarded patience abundantly. Their story ended where it truly began. Not with wealth or rejection, but with honesty and choice. A single no led to lasting yes. Tears turned into healing laughter. The billionaire found real love. The single dad found belonging. The child found family and peace. Sometimes refusal opens destiny's door, and truth always wins in the end. If this story gave you chills, imagine what's waiting in the next one. Stories of love, heartbreak, and life-changing moments you won't see anywhere else. Hit subscribe now and turn on notifications, so you never miss a story that could move you, inspire you, or even change your perspective. Trust me, the next story will leave you speechless.